In the world of news journaling, no matter what the subject it is, you will find select few people who, in theory, have good ideas, but they take those good ideas, they gift wrap them in a nice, very elegant looking package, set it on the ground right in front of you, and then proceed to drop trowel and take a massive diarrhea shit right on top of it, and then hand it to you, going, here you go, this is what I want to give to you. It could be something nice, but here's just a pile of shit. Hi, I am the Mad King Paradox S, and today I'm going to be talking about one Gavin Mcinnes. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm just going to call him Gavin for simplicity. Gavin is a journalist for a number of things. He's been in... He was primarily in something that was called advertising agency known as Rooster. And no, I'm not going to make jokes comparing this Gavin from Rooster to one Gavin free of Rooster Teeth, aka Slow-Mo Guys. I prefer that Gavin, and you'll see why. He posted a video lately talking about how there was a thing going on between not feminists, but it was Gamergate related. So he was talking about things like that, and it started off, sounding pretty alright, never heard this guy talk before, he sounded pretty professional. I'm sitting there just going, he might make some good points. If not for the fact that I saw this on my feed here on YouTube from one Alpha Omega Sin. Great guy, you should check him out. And I saw this and I was just like, oh fuck, what now? I watched it, got a little pissed off, and so I went and I watched the whole video for myself. And you know those moments where you're just holding your head the entire time because you just can't believe what you're hearing, seeing. All of your senses are just pounding away at your head because you can't believe such ridiculousness is going on. That was pretty much my reaction throughout the entire 4 or 5 minute video. It wasn't that long, but I have plenty to say about it. Let's start off with the meat. He was talking about how apparently there was some Gamergate thing going on. And then it went to... This is the part where I started getting upset about normal people who don't know what Gamergate is. It's 2015, late 2015, and it's been on the news all the time. People have been talking about it. Normal people don't know what Gamergate is. Alright, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. People might have been living under a rock for the past while. Who knows? They might not even watch the news or talk to people or have any type of way of knowing of current events. They don't know these things. We'll just tuck that aside for later. Just drag it into the inventory and we'll save it for later. He then proceeds to go and say that gamers are a movement. Now that your brain cells have stopped popping, he said that Gamergate was doing all this, and then a movement of people called gamers came in, and they brought in opposing ideals. A movement called gamers. Are you fucking retarded? A term that has been used to describe people who play games since the 80s. It's 2015. They were saying that in the 80s. And now you're calling them a movement. after my brain cells stopped hurting, I listened more. He then said this: "There is a layer of patheticness here, though, that no one is talking about." Intriguing. Namely, I don't care if video games are sexist or not, or politically correct. Hold on to that for later, put it in the inventory. Video games are for little kids. Why are adults playing video games? Really? It's one of those things where you have a million things to say, but you don't know how to word it. Video games are for little kids, so why are adults playing them? Now, I can state the obvious and talk about mature and adult-rated games, but those are things that everyone already knows firsthand, regardless if you play video games or you don't play video games. So I'm not really going to touch that. But you're saying that things that people grew up with in the 80s, in the 90s, and now, that people have been doing for generations, and you're wondering why adults are playing video games. I could understand if this was trying to delve into the mindset of a person in their mid-20s, late 30s, who still play video games, and look at it from a scientific and... I just lost the word. Pretty much try and build a study as to why people are still playing video games so late into their years. You know, if it would have taken that kind of turn, okay, acceptable. You have a question, you're putting it out there, you're presenting facts, doing research, and coming to your own conclusion. That would be fine. But no. No. Everyone knows where this is going. It was pretty much bashing people who play video games. That's pretty much what it was. Adults who play video games. Adult men who play video games. Those were his words. Adult men. He then goes and talks about how someone he knew bought a Batman game for his kids that they could not play because it was rated mature. And then he continued there, making fun of people who not only play video games as adults, but read comics. He said Batman was for little kids. He clearly never read the comic book series, because there's some pretty dark and fucked up shit in the Batman series. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And that's just for one villain, not including the entirety of the series, of the world that the Batman series is based off of. There's some dark, fucked up shit. And you're saying it's for children. I mean, yes, children do read and watch the shows and the comics. I mean, the Batman animated series was a very good series, award-winning series, and it encompassed some of those dark attributes into it. The Batman movies that came out recently, they had the dark undertones and overtones that the comic series had as well. And yes, kids watched it, but it was dark enough for the adults. It is an adult-oriented series that you can really, any age can watch it. trying to form words, not working. Video games and comics are for children. That is the part that just baffles me, because anyone who plays video games and reads comics knows that there are some out there that children should not be put in front of, that children should not even know about until they are at an appropriate age, because of the things that are in it. That's why they have little warning stickers on the sides of games saying, this is what the game is rated. This is why it is rated this. This is the selected age group that we feel you should be by the time you buy this game. That's why things like that exist, because there are things in video games and in comics that a child should not have to be susceptible to. But at the same time, if you're an adult, go out and get it. Who cares? If you want to get it, go get it. That's all there is to it. He then goes to say that comic books are for special people. Special people. He then, here's another quote, goes to say, in the old days, you lived in the basement because you were mentally handicapped. When we saw 12-year-olds playing Star Wars with 9-year-olds, we went, poor bastard. Oh well, I guess he'll be living with his mommy forever. You're complaining about a 12-year-old playing Star Wars with a 9-year-old. Why? What is wrong with that? He's 12. Or she's 12. Whatever. They're 12. That is still considered a little kid. It is perfectly okay for them to play a video game with a 9-year-old. It's not that hard of a concept to grasp. It's saying that they're mentally handicapped and are going to live with their mommies forever. Again, I'm going to store that argument away for later because I'm going to bring that up again in a little bit. Really hard not to talk about everything all at once because there's so much I want to say. I'm getting flustered just thinking about it all. He then goes to say, and this isn't a quote, this is just what I have written down here. After saying that people who play video games at a certain age or read comics are practically retarded. He just said retarded in a nice way. He said that you're adults. You shouldn't be playing video games. You shouldn't be living in your mom's basement. You should be, fixing refrigerators and building tables and all this other shit. I'm just going to reach into my inventory. I'm going to grab those things that I was saving, and I'm just going to mix them into this part right here, because this combination is going to open the door in the dungeon to progress further. How fucking retarded is that idea? You're adults, so don't play video games. Learn how to build shit. I know people that are around my age. I'm 25. I know people around my age I know people younger than me who play just as many video games as I do, that read more comics than I do. I don't classify myself as a comic book reader, although I do own a small portion of comic books that I have read and have enjoyed. So I don't really call myself a comic book guy. But manga, I have a whole bookcase full of manga. And that's pretty much novel comic books. Graphic novels. I'm just going to call them that, because that's pretty much what they are. So in that instance, I am. But as per actual comic books, not really too big into that. Although not just because I don't like them. I do like them. It's just like, I don't have that many, but I do really like the ones I own. So I don't call myself a comic book guy for that reason. But I'm not fucking retarded. I know how to build shit. I know how to do things that I need to do. I'm not living in my mom's basement. When I was younger, I did, but not because I was mentally handicapped or because I played video games or sometimes read comics and all that. I chose to take the basement because it was the biggest room. It had more space in it for me to do more things with. Oh, I've got all this shit. I need a bookcase for it. There's room for a bookcase right there. I just move all this stuff over, go to the store, buy the bookcase, take it out, build it myself, put it right there, and put all my little knickknacks on it. There we go. That looks nice. I really like that. Saying that adults who play video games and read comics are man-children living in their mom's basements that are mentally handicapped, that is just... all it is the same thing we've been hearing for years. People have been saying it. Politicians have been saying it. People on the internet have been saying it. Random jackasses have been saying it. Oh, they like video games. They like comics. They live in their mom's basement. They're retarded. They don't know how to do anything. They just sit around and play video games all day. Bullshit. I know people my age and younger that have jobs just like I do. That pay bills just like I do. That know how to build furniture and fix things just like I do. That aren't living in their mommy's basement. I don't live in my mom's basement. I haven't lived with my mom for a pretty damn good while now. All of these things are just the cookie cutter bullshit that people have been spouting for years. It's just that this guy took all of them and put them into one. But this is the part that fucked me up the most. He finishes off by saying that doing things like watching TV, watching movies, reading books of fiction are vices that should be discouraged. You can do them every so often, but it shouldn't be one of those things where you're all up in arms about, oh, I could go and build this coffee table to put in the corner of the room, but my shows are on. I'm going to focus on them instead of what I need to do. I could go to work today, but, the new episode of that show I really like is coming on in about an hour or so, and I don't really feel like DVRing it. I was half tempted to make a VHS joke because that's how fucking dated all of this shit is. I know people who can go to their job and make good pay, go to school, come home, take care of their kid, do all the things they need to do throughout the day, pay their bills, and still be able to manage all of that, along with playing video games, reading comics, watching TV, watching movies, reading books, everything that this random guy said, oh, this is a thing that should be discouraged and people shouldn't do all the time. No fucking shit, dumbass. You don't do it all the time. You do it in your spare time when you don't have anything else to do. It's just like those people that don't do any of that. That say, oh, we don't have anything to do. I'm going to go out and do this. Well, this person just goes, Well, I mean, yeah, I can go out and do that too, but I don't really have a reason to do that. There's no major importance to it. So I can stay at home and I can play a game, watch a movie, watch TV. Either way, you're accomplishing about the same. But the part that fucked me up was watching TV, watching movies, reading books. Video games and comics are in the same genre as that. He didn't mention it, but they are. They are entertainment. You're watching a movie. You're playing a game. It's pretty much the same thing, except you're controlling the show or the movie. You're watching it, but it's interactive. You're reading a book. A comic is a book. A manga is a book. They're the same thing. Yeah, you said those are alright. Every once in a while, but they're alright. But doing any of this at all is bad? Again, so much to say, don't know how to say it, and I want to say it all at once. It's so fucking retarded. It's another instance of, I don't like this, so no one else should either. I think that this is for kids, so everyone else should think it's for kids as well. I think people that do this are like this, so everyone else should think that as well. That's not how it fucking works. I'm going to make it really simple. Something that everyone who knows what the hell they're talking about can say. If you don't like video games, don't play them. If you don't like comics, don't read them. If you want to go out and do something else that doesn't involve watching TV, watching movies, reading books, then go do that. Quit bitching at the people that do decide to do it in a healthy manner where they are able to do all of that and still keep their priorities in check. That can go out and play games and read comics and watch TV and movies, but still hold their job, go to school, raise their kids. If anything, that's a fucking accomplishment. They have their priorities in check. They have everything the way it needs to be, and they still have time for the things that they enjoy. What is wrong with that? It's just that you didn't like it. You didn't like it back then. You don't like it now. Now you just have people watching you, so you can just go ahead and say it, and people will listen. He tends to talk about political things. I think he should stick to that. Because every time someone who talks about political things talks about entertainment of any kind, they make themselves look like a complete and utter jackass. This so-called rebel. I did a little bit of background research. In an interview for the New York Press, he talked about this group of people saying that he was glad that they were white and that we should close down the borders and let everyone assimilate into a white, English-speaking society. Needless to say, that pissed off a lot of people. Then again, in the Huffington Post, where he said that women becoming feminists makes them miserable. Saying that I'm guessing he said men or as a society, it wasn't really specified, but he said people have devalued childbearing and other womanly things to such a degree that they have to put on this facade to be men. He pretty much said, in a very simplistic way, they have penis envy. And so, they feel devalued, so they're making themselves out to be men. Again, That pissed off a lot of people. A college professor didn't like that. Thought he was full of shit. And went to go speak her piece, and the only thing he could say to her was yelling out to her, "You fucking idiot." A college professor that happens to be a woman tried to say something that opposed what you just said, and you yelled out to her that she's a fucking idiot. Very professional. And then again, not too long ago, at Rooster, he wrote an essay saying how transphobia is perfectly natural. Rooster themselves put out a formal apology for his actions, for his comments. So that's 3 different outlets on 3 different subjects. He managed to piss off a lot of people. And now he's pissing off gamers and comic book enthusiasts. On what network, shall we ask? Motherfucking Fox News. Is this going to be a gimmick now where I'm going to have to hear something that someone associated with Fox News is doing, and I'm going to have to make a video ranting and raving about it? Son of a bitch. It's just fucking ridiculous. There was no reason. He had no reason to go after people who play video games or read comics, regardless if they were adult or not. He said, in the first quote that I stated, "I do not care if video games are sexist or not or politically correct." Why? So you would be perfectly fine if they were sexist and they were not and they were politically correct. You're saying it would be perfectly okay for someone to make this game and put hard work and effort into it, make it the way they wanted to make it, and then some random jackass come in and go, that's not politically correct, change it. You know, this woman, she looks like she's a little tubby. Make her waist skinnier, give her bigger breasts and a bigger ass, make her bounce around a whole lot, make her dumb as a box of rocks. That's what the men want. They want dumb blonde bimbos with big breasts and butt that they can jerk it to at night. Or someone will come in and go, "Oh my god, she's so skinny. Why don't you plump her up a little bit? Make her look like every woman." Not every woman looks like that. They don't look like gym enthusiasts that never ate an apple or meat in their life. You know, we're not looking like that. They need to look like us. You would be perfectly fine with that. That's so fucking retarded. What if people did that? He always said that about video games. He didn't say it about comics, though. I'm pretty certain he would have. But what about if they did that in TV shows or movies or in books? Someone were to come in and say all of that. Would he be perfectly fine with that? More than likely. But it's just, you're saying you don't care if they do it here. It's either you don't care if they do it anywhere, or you care if they do it anywhere. There is no in-between. You don't go, I don't want you to do it in all of this, but in this little thing over here, yeah, go ahead and do it in that. What little thing? That multi-billion-dollar industry over there that people have been putting time and money and effort into since, if we're going by movies and shows, the 50s, I believe. Video games, the 80s. You know, that thing that millions of people pour millions of dollars into every year. You know, that little thing over there, yeah, you can go ahead and make that sexist, politically correct, whatever. You can do whatever you want with that because I don't care about it. That's pretty much what it is. He doesn't care about it, so he doesn't want anyone else to care. Well, there's quite a few people that would disagree. And I just wanted to put my thoughts out there. Anyone who comes across shit like this, just fucking ignore it. That's all that needs to be done because someone like this should not be worth even watching for a second. I'm the Mad King Paradox signing off.